to just feel like your heart's about to explode because it feels so good. And you're like, oh, look at them loving each other. That's compersion. And so I find a ton of compersion and joy on the other side of jealousy. And I would say allow yourself time to just process through it. Allow yourself to feel jealousy. I know in our culture, it's something that we definitely discourage. We think it's terrible. We think you're never going to live if you're jealous for someone else. It's even encouraged, which is kind of gross, right? Like that he's mine kind of thing. And unless you're playing with that in a real kinky way, that's not super fun. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Kalo. Welcome to conversations about open relationships, online dating, and creating relationship dynamics that truly align for you. Hey there. Did you know that I do online coaching? Yes, I do online coaching in the sex and relationship space. Some of the topics that are near and dear to my heart are open relationships. So that includes polyamory, swinging, or what we call the lifestyle. I also love conversations around online dating. We're talking Bumble, Tinder, Field, and more. And then the last thing that's really passionate and close to my heart is conscious uncoupling. That means we get to break up with people with love and respect, with dignity and hope. We get to create a life for our children that gets to be a little bit different. We can do things better than we have in the past. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you and you'd love to get some coaching from me, check out the link in the show notes or the link in my bio for more information on Coaching with Jen. Today I want to talk about how to beat jealousy. So I had this really interesting experience about, earlier this week, so a few days ago, when I was sitting in my partner Scott's chair in his office, and he was gone on a date with our girlfriend Steph. And I had this amazing realization that I felt no jealousy. I felt so good about them having a date, them having time together. And you guys, I freaking ate some leftover quesadillas and watched Bridgerton and lived my best life. So what I want to do is give you 3 different steps for how to beat jealousy, and then 3 different tips to help integrate and move the jealousy out of your body. Okay, are you ready? Step 1, start with friendships with mixed sexes. So hear me out. I know if you've been in a relationship for a long time, or maybe you're newly married and you've kind of bought into this story that your new person, your partner, your husband or wife is supposed to be everything to you, including your very best friend. And what I would like to say is this is a lie. This is a lie that society tells you, that the church tells you, so that you don't cheat on your partner. It's not true. We can have solid friendships with people of the opposite sex. So the first thing that I want you to do is start making friends with people of the opposite sex. Allow and encourage your partner to be friends. So Scott has lots of female friends. In fact, his best friend is female, and she's constantly like, hey, Scott, do you want to go, on the river? Do you want to go to lunch? Can I talk to you about my school project? And he's always like, oh yeah, let's do it. Come on over. Come do your homework over here. Come hang out. And she'll go to the pool with him. And it's fantastic. And I think at the beginning of our relationship, I wasn't used to this kind of dynamic where he has female friends that he hangs out with. And what I've realized is it's really good for him. And it doesn't really matter the gender of the person that your person is friends with. What matters is, how solid their friendship is, and do they give to each other, So try that first. When you start to watch your partner walk out the door to do a friend date with someone of the opposite sex, you might feel a tiny twinge of jealousy or concern, or what are they going to do? And just allow that to flow through your body. Step 2, try a breakfast or a lunch date. So this is for my couples that feel jealousy when their partner, maybe if they're in an open relationship, they're dating other people, or even they're at work and they're feeling jealous because their coworker is hot. Try a breakfast or lunch date for your partner. I'm going to just talk to my people in open relationships here because I think that's the majority of my followers. A breakfast or lunch date is pretty non-threatening. It's in a public place, nobody's getting naked, and you can just try out what the feeling is to have your partner leave and have a day date and come back home. And maybe do it a few times. Leave, have a day date, come back home. Leave, have a date, come back home. And your nervous system is going to reprogram itself to go, when my partner leaves, he comes back. Or when she leaves, she comes back. It's fine. You do this enough, and after watching them go hang out with friends and watching them have a day date, your nervous system goes, nothing is going to break here. We're okay. We're solid. Let's keep going. Then the next step from that would be to move into a dinner/play date. Now, this is probably giving you lots of anxiety, but I want you to know there is hope and encouragement and fun and great feelings on the other side of this nervousness. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my partner. I'm so anxious. I have so much anxiety in my body. And I know I need to let my partner have this experience. I know that this is good for our relationship. I know in the end, they're going to be happy and fulfilled. I'm happy and fulfilled. And this is again for my couples that play separately. We are a hybrid. I'll just kind of do like a quick offshoot here where we're monogamish, and Scott and I live together and raise kids together. And we have a girlfriend, sometimes a few girlfriends, and we play together. But after, several months of being together and really having a strong foundation with a new person, we open up the possibility for us to date one-on-one with these women. And that's what I'm talking about here for us. It's that first date. It's that first meetup without me. And now that this has been going on for several years, I might even be out of the country. Like I was on a cruise this year, just a few months ago, and we had just started seeing someone. And so we had a good solid date or two underneath our belt. And he was like, hey, she wants to come over and hang out and watch, a show together. Is that okay with you? And I was like, absolutely, go for it. And so when I got reception, I was like checking in after a day or two, and I'm like, how'd it go? And he was like, great, it was fantastic. We snuggled and, it got a little sexy. She definitely wants to, get naked with us, and she's waiting for you to get back. And I was like, awesome, great. And then there's like boundary setting within that. So for us in that particular instance, we had not been naked with her yet. And I think the next request from him when I was gone was, hey, she'd really love to have a massage. How do you feel about me putting her on the massage table while you're not here? And I was like, look, I'm not dumb. Like that is absolutely going to lead to sex because I'm with you and it happens every time, just not even with us, but with other women. And I don't think that's a good idea because we haven't even slept all together as a throuple. And that's going to lead to things that I think both of us are going to regret. And maybe in the future that changes. Again, what's fun about being open is your dynamic is constantly changing. I mean, we went from a closed throuple to only dating together and like only having a three-way chat together and everything was together, to that opening and us dating someone for over a year where we're open and she's open. And there's just a lot more flexibility once you can get on the other side of this jealousy that allows you to have a lot of different types of play. So I can definitely see a future where maybe we start to see someone and I'm out of town and I do say yes to that massage scenario and go, I hope you have fun. I'll join you guys when I get back. For now, we're not there, but we'll get there maybe. Okay. So we talked about moving to dinner in a play date. I know the majority of anxiety and jealousy, even before it happens, is right here. It's like, I can't let them go, but I want you to try and I want you to allow it to move through your body. Here are my 3 tips to helping it move through your body so you can get to the other side of eating quesadillas and watching Bridgerton on your partner's couch in his office and being totally fine. 1, remember that jealousy is only an emotion. So is anger. So is joy. So is ecstasy, being ecstatic. So is sadness. Like all of these are just emotions, and not one is not better than the other. It's just part of being a human. So we want to allow the jealousy to move through your being, because once you can learn how to move it, you can get to that point of neutrality or better, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here's some ideas. Workout. Schedule a massage for that night, even something that can just move the emotions through your body and through the energy through your body. Journaling is wonderful. If you're a writer, you can physically journal, you can type this out, but just process your emotions. Free flow, write, let it get out. Talk with a coach or counselor. Plug here for me. I am a coach and I hold space for lots of thruples. People that are in a relationship with more than one person, or even swingers that are dating and trying to figure out their own dynamic as they're watching their partners leave and come back. I would love to hold space for you. You'll see a link below for Coaching with Jen. Okay, my last advice here is go out with friends. Like when your partner is having a date, having a play session with someone else, I want you to book yourself busy and do one of these things. Workout, massage, journal, talk with a coach or a counselor, or whatever, or go out with friends. Okay. And then my third tip is allow yourself to get to the other side of jealousy and into compersion and joy. So if you're asking me, Jen, what is compersion? It's that feeling of love that you can feel for your partner when they have love and joy and fun with someone else. And it's a really beautiful feeling. I was over at a friend's house last night and her mother was there, and her mother knows that she's in an open relationship. Most of her friends are in an open relationship. And she was out on the porch just asking me questions. And she was like, so Jen, you have a main partner. His name's Scott. He's at home with the boys. And then this is your girlfriend, Steph. Can you love one person more than the other person? She was asking us all these questions. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think you can love people differently. I mean, I love my kids differently than I love Scott. I love my mother differently than I love my kids. I love my friends. There's all different kinds of love. And for me, Scott is the deepest form of love that I experience in this lifetime. I love Steph. I have a very different love for her. I love that she's in my life. I love that she's my girlfriend. I love spending time with her. I love having sex with her. It's a different kind of love. And so you move into this place of compersion where you say, look, for the people that I love, I want them to also experience love and joy and pleasure. And when they're experiencing it, I feel amazing. This is for anyone here that's listening that's maybe had a three-way altogether, with your people, and you look over and they're, kissing or having sex together, and you just feel like your heart's about to explode because it feels so good. And you're like, oh, look at them loving each other. That's compersion. And so I find a ton of compersion and joy on the other side of jealousy. And I would say allow yourself time to just process through it. Allow yourself to feel jealousy. I know in our culture, it's something that we definitely discourage. We think it's terrible. We think you're never going to live if you're jealous for someone else. It's even encouraged, which is kind of gross, right? Like that he's mine kind of thing. And unless you're playing with that in a real kinky way, that's not super fun. So I'm curious, how do you feel about this? If you know where to find me at the Open Bedroom Podcast on all platforms, send me a DM and I'll make sure and put these in stories on Instagram with like a box that just says, how are you dealing with jealousy? Are you feeling it? What comes up for you? What are some tips that work for you too? I'm really curious. If you're watching this on YouTube, maybe put your answer below. If you're listening on Spotify, you can respond. You can even leave a little voice memo and that'd be fun. I could send it on there. Okay, guys, it's a short episode today. Thank you for being here with me. If you would please stop, like this podcast, and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, you can write a review. It's really important to the show that we continue to get those likes and get those subscribes so that it can continue to grow. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.